Elliott comes back from injury, and the dude is still in the midfield three. Can you talk a bit about that, about playing as the third midfielder in a Klopp system versus playing as a winger in a Klopp system, how the things are different, how they're similar, and maybe also that maybe when we look at young players, we shouldn't be so obsessed with defining them. He's an 8, he's a 6, he's a 7, because it's still football, right? And these are still unformed.
Yeah, define him as his career is going to be incredible because he's a brilliant player. But when you simplify it and you go, right, where does Mo Salah play? Where's he effective? Where would Harvey Elliott be 18 months ago? Is 1v1s with defenders. If you're a midfield player, you bang it into Mo Salah, you bang it into Mane or Diaz or Harvey Elliott. If they're playing as wingers, they can take players on. There's an end product. When you step back and you go into the midfield and you go into that engine room where literally every time you get hold of the ball, there's players around you, and you're in San Siro, and you're outnumbered in midfield. They had 5v3, so you had no real area to try and work in. He's under pressure. Everything gets a little bit clogged. By the way, he's making his debut in the Champions League. In San Siro. It's incredible.
It's a phenomenal vote of confidence.
It's phenomenal.
But I'm saying that we've seen him play there before. Like,
my thought process before the game when I seen the team sheets come in was, that's a gamble from Jurgen Klopp. And at some point, you've got to put Harvey Elliott in because you've got to know and you've got to test and you've got to see if you can handle the environment, which he did. But it was a gamble because I thought Jordan Henderson on the bench, Naby Keita on the bench, guys that have got so much know-how, experience. I thought it was a gamble. But he'll be better for it. So it's one of them where you come out the game, if you're Harvey Elliott and you're Jurgen Klopp, and you step back and you come away from it and you watch your analysis and you have your own mental thoughts how the game went. Man, that was a tough game. I played against 3 in midfield. I hardly got the ball, and when I did, I was under pressure. It's hard. Game's hard.
I'm just fascinated by it. I mean, did you always play midfield from the time you were a kid?
No. I played as a centre forward, played as a centre back, played as a central midfield player, played at right back. You can learn positions. Football's not the hardest job in the world. If you can solve 1 or 2 problems and realise who you're playing against, if you're clever, you'll succeed.
What I find interesting is in central midfield, there's very few opportunities to dribble past opponents or take them off on one-on-one, right? Because of traffic. Yeah. And often, even if you do, there's another dude right there.
That's
so
what
what's
I'm
the
saying.
point, right?
Yeah.
I'm assuming if Elliott played as a winger coming through, it's because he has acceleration and he has the one-on-one trickery.
Yeah.
So conventional wisdom to me would say, well, if you play him in midfield, you lose that side of his game, right? And this is, but then Klopp sees that and he says, well, you can be so much more. You still have that because you don't lose that, but
and if you could wriggle away from one,
and you wiggle away, occasionally you'll have that, right?
You're away,
Naby Keita has that, for example.
Exactly.
Doesn't often show it, but he has it.
Yeah.
That's what I find interesting, and that's what, I don't often, I can't think of too many occasions, and I'm sure there's people out there, and if you're on social media, let me know, where you've taken a player who was considered to be a phenom in one role at a very young age, and you've moved him to a very different one in central midfield.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.